This is the year that you stop being a loser and win the life that you want. I used to be lazy. I used to be addicted to procrastinating. I used to lack discipline. I was so inconsistent. And then I finally got fed up. Let's get into the nitty gritty of how you are going to stop being fed up with your life. You need to learn more about yourself. How many hours of sleep do you need to be fully functional for the rest of the day? Do you know that? Rest is essential. You need rest to be fully focused, energized, disciplined, and productive. It is extremely important that you know that. Your stomach hurts often. What foods are irritating it? How much screen time have you averaged over the last week? How many steps did you take? What parts of your menstrual cycle do you feel high energy? And what parts of your menstrual cycle do you feel low energy? What career path allows you to feel productive and energized? What clothes suit you the best? You need to know this. You need to learn a lot about yourself. You should know all of these details about yourself. And if you don't, here is how you are going to do it. You are going to journal 5 minutes a day, then 10 minutes a day, or one full page, then two full pages. And no, there are no prompts. You need to write every single detail that is in your thoughts that you are about to do. And then once you've done it, you need to write it all because you can rant to a friend, you can rant to a therapist, and you can talk to God. But no single person should know you better than you know yourself. You need to write about yourself like you are an experiment that you are compiling data on. You need to write about yourself like your journals will be used in textbooks one day. That is the acute level of detail that you need to write about yourself because this is the best way that you are going to learn more about yourself. Another key thing to know about yourself, go to the doctor. If you have access, you should be going to the doctor at least once a year because there are so many things that may be going on that are related to medical conditions, and it is essential that you find that out. A few years ago, I was experiencing back pain, I was experiencing hair loss, I was experiencing brain fog, I was experiencing insomnia, I had horrible sleep, and I was starting to feel a little bit depressed. I decided to go to the doctor because someone encouraged me to go get a full panel blood test. And you know what I found out? I had a severe vitamin D deficiency. Severe. I literally would not have known had it not been for the fact that I mentioned to someone, oh yeah, I slept for 14 hours last night and I slept for 12 hours the night before. If I had been journaling about them, I would have started to realize, wait, the past few days, the past few weeks, things just haven't really been looking that great for me. But I wasn't checking in with myself, so I didn't realize how crazy that really was at the time. And it was also very abnormal, but I just thought to myself, hey, it just happened a couple times, it's not a big deal. That was me experiencing a near medical emergency. You need to go to the doctor. You need to know what's going on in your body. Now I know everything that's going on in my body. I literally go to the doctor like it's Target. I know where my hormone levels are. I know where my vitamin levels are. And the moment that I forget, I go back and I get tested again. In order for you to jumpstart on the life that you want, you need to feel energized. You need to feel nourished. And a lot of the things that you're feeling, laziness or brain fog or you're sleeping too much, a lot of these things could be related to medical issues. So I urge you to go and see a doctor if you can. Another thing, study yourself. This is the part of journaling that everyone messes up on. You have the data. Now, what are you going to do with it? You need to read your journal every week at the end of the week. Read your journal and see how your week has gone. You may have heard of active recall, and if you haven't, active recall is a science-backed learning technique that strengthens your memory by forcing your brain to retrieve information without looking at your notes. This is why students will make flashcards and put a term on one side and a definition on the other side, so that they can practice remembering the definition without looking at the other side of the flashcard. In order to answer all of those questions that I've asked you, how many steps did you take? What's your average screen time? What parts of your menstrual cycle do you feel high energy? And what parts do you feel low energy? You need to use active recall. Success in every industry requires active recall. Doctors don't just remember everything by chance. They have spent 12 years doing active recall on prescription medications, on diseases, on body parts, and then football players, they use active recall when they're remembering plays. Actors use active recall when they're remembering scripts. Everyone relies on active recall, and now so do you. You want to live your dream life? You need to know the areas where you've struggled, and you need to know the areas that you've improved, and you need to know those all the time. Coach yourself. You have all of the data, you've studied it. Now it is time to put it to work. Everyone is always looking for a mentor or a coach, but you can also do that for yourself. I do that for myself. You can take a look at your journal and you can identify, okay, it looks like I have better days when I start my days on a walk, regardless of how cold it is. That seems to be something that helps me to feel more regulated. This is something that I need to do every single day, and I'm gonna push myself to do that. Or you may realize I only had one meal that day and I didn't feel that great, and I also had one meal that other day and I also didn't feel that great. I need to make sure that I'm meal prepping so that I'm eating every single meal each day. Or maybe you realize that you need to rest more, but just remember, stick with one small area of improvement in your life. Get very good, master that habit, and then start to add more. Have a sober mind. If you need coffee to wake up and you need melatonin to sleep every single day, something is wrong. This is not the way that your body is intended to function naturally. You are supposed to be able to feel awake when you wake up, and you are supposed to be able to feel sleepy when it is time for you to go to sleep. This is why I mentioned going to the doctor, because if these are things that you are becoming very dependent on, it is very important that you figure out the root cause of these dependencies. And cut out alcohol if you need to. I didn't drink for almost 2 years, and that was the best thing I've ever done. Even now, I rarely drink. I still do not like it because you may go out and drink for 2 to 3 hours, but it's not just the 2 to 3 hours, because the next day you wake up, you feel hungover, and if you don't feel hungover, you feel sluggish, and if you don't feel sluggish, you feel nauseous, and you lose so much time to that. Cutting alcohol will give you more time, energy, and focus in your day. It also will allow you to save a ton of money. I love fine dining just as much as the next lady. And one of the things that I realized when I stopped drinking is that the bill literally cuts in half if you do not drink. Alcohol is so expensive. These cocktails nowadays are like $20 to $30. That is literally an entree at that point. Cut out alcohol because you'll save money, you'll get more time back, and you'll also feel more regulated. A lot of people experience anxiety all the time. They wake up the next day, they feel really anxious because they don't really know what they did, or they just feel anxious because alcohol makes you anxious. Cut it out for a while and see how your life will begin to improve. I stopped drinking just because I felt like not drinking. I didn't expect the quality of my life to increase at the level that it did. I really recommend that everyone tries to cut alcohol out for at least a few months just to see how amazing the impacts of doing so is. I recommend cutting out drinking for all of the things that I've mentioned, and also because it can allow you to have an identity shift. Now that you are stepping into this new life, it is essential that you leave old habits behind. And one of the best ways to do that is to create a new name for yourself, to create a new identity for yourself. Like, I'm Shawnee and I don't drink. Why? Because I just don't want to. And I'm living a new life, and the old version of me used to do that, and now the new version of me does it. Identity is everything to your behavior. So when you change something about yourself, that is one of the most powerful ways to see concrete change in your life. You can decide, okay, I do my nails every single day, and this is the type of person that I am, and this is the type of lifestyle that I want to live. So all of the things in my life will begin to change around those things. It is important that you add habits and also leave habits. So whether that's not drinking or not eating junk food or not getting takeout, not eating meat, whatever it is, do something that causes a shift in your identity, because you are now stepping into a new life and leaving an old one behind. And that is no small thing. Another tip: cook. Yes, start cooking more often. Do not eat at restaurants, and definitely do not Uber Eats or DoorDash, because that is literally the laziest thing that you could do. I am DoorDash and Uber Eats' worst enemy. I hate those apps. I hate them. Like, the only time you will ever see me use them is if I'm entertaining someone or I'm traveling and we just like couldn't figure something out amongst travel. These things are so lazy. If you take nothing from this video, do not Uber Eats or DoorDash ever again. If you don't feel like cooking and you're ready to tune out, then fine. But I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I think that you should actually listen to this. The first reason is that regardless of what you cook, even if you want to eat chicken nuggets and french fries every single day, If you are making that yourself, it is still healthier than whatever you are getting from a restaurant because you actually care about what's going in your body, and the restaurant just cares about making a sale. They just care about making more money and making it as fast as possible. And they'll reheat the oil and they'll put whatever chemicals, salt, additives, whatever they need to do to make you come back. But you actually care about your life. You want to live a long, happy, healthy, abundant, and successful life. And one of the best ways to do that is to nourish yourself. You need to be getting actual real food with real ingredients. So cook more often. And another thing that's going to happen when you cook more often, you will spend so much less money. So much less money. Regardless of how much groceries are, you are still spending less by cooking at home. If you want to eat from a restaurant, then fine, but you better walk or drive to go and get it. Because one of the best ways to cut out an unhealthy habit is to make it as difficult as possible. In my home, I don't leave the type of snacks that I crave. I make it very difficult. If I really, really want to go get a huge bag of Doritos or Cheeto Puffs, then I have to go downstairs, go outside, walk and get it in the freezing cold. So my options are get dressed, walk and be cold, or be warm and spend 15 minutes cooking up a snack for myself. Make healthy habits easy and make unhealthy habits difficult. On the same token, choose the difficult option. You want to go to a restaurant? Then walk or drive there. Do not Uber Eats. You have a couple dishes that you're about to put in the sink? Wash the entire sink. Doom scrolling or walk for an hour? Walk. Choose the more difficult option because the more difficult options are the ones that are worth it. Because the more difficult option in all of those cases are more productive, and the feeling that you have done the most difficult option, you are going to feel better than everybody else. And confidence is essential in this journey. All of these tips have a lot to do with building your confidence. Confidence comes from consistency, and confidence comes from hard work. So do the difficult thing. Do not take the easy way out. And this one's gonna ruffle some feathers. Be presentable. Stop showing up like a loser. A loser wears sweatpants to a job interview. A loser wears Crocs and pajamas to school or to the grocery store. Do not dress like a loser. Dress like someone who has something going for yourself. And I know a lot of people are not gonna like me saying this, but let me tell you, when you dress more presentable, people are going to treat you better. And don't tell me that it shouldn't matter because you guys do the same thing. When you see someone who has torn clothing or dirty clothing, you start to get a little nervous when they start to come around. Let's be honest. Everyone does that. That is like human nature. So you need to be more presentable and show up the way that you want to show up. If you want people to think that you're hardworking, that you're productive, that you have it all together, then you better look like it. Literally, when people see me, they just tell me, I can tell you have it all together. I know that that apartment is clean. I know that you take care of your skin. I know that you probably eat very healthy, you probably drink green juices. People literally assume that just because of how I look, because I am presentable everywhere that I go. Everywhere that I go that I'm going to see somebody, I am presentable. And you might think, oh, well, I have nowhere to go. There are two types of people. Two types of people can have just one goal of the day, and that is to go to the grocery store. And that may be the person that looks super presentable and tidy, and that may be you in Crocs and pajamas without having washed your face for the day. But everyone is assuming that the other person is more productive than you. And yes, that matters because that will impact how they treat you. And even more important than that, you will feel so much more confident. I remember when one of my friends in college told me that she puts makeup on every single day to go to class. She puts makeup on and a gorgeous outfit because she feels like a better student in the library and in class, and she feels like raising her hand more often when she's in class because she knows that she looks presentable. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing the same thing. And do you know what I found? I found that I was a better student. I found that I was engaging with my classmates more. I was engaging with my professor more. I put so much effort into my appearance that I just had to go to the library after class because there was just no way that I got this ready and this presentable and I was just going to go to one class. Now I needed to go to the library. And then I ended up studying for hours. And then my grades improved. My grades literally improved by just being more presentable. So take how you look a little bit more seriously and watch how the quality of your life will begin to improve. And for you, that doesn't mean a new perfect updo and makeup and lavish luxury clothing. It just means putting effort into your appearance. Wash your face, make sure that you're moisturized, make sure that your clothes are clean and smell faintly of detergent. Like, be presentable, make sure your clothes are pressed, make sure that there's no lint on you. Look like you've put effort into your appearance, regardless of what your aesthetic is. Be busy. Use a calendar and fill up that calendar. I like to use Google Calendar. You can use Apple Calendar. There are so many calendar apps out there. You could use a physical calendar, you could use a desk calendar, whatever it is, use one and be busy. Fill your calendar up with regulation in the morning. For me, that looks like meditating, praying, exercising, and journaling. For you, that could look different. Have productive activities and things that you want to get done throughout the day. And again, make them small. Plan fun activities, plan enriching activities. Go get a book, bring it to a cafe, and commit yourself to reading for at least an hour. Have a nighttime routine. For me, I like to wind down my days by reading because now I'm able to learn, and nothing puts me to sleep faster than a book, regardless of how interesting it is. But my calendar is filled. I am booked and busy. I have purpose every day. I'm actively achieving my goals every single day. I want to be smarter. I want to be wealthier. I want to be happier. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to have stress. I want to be regulated. I take action toward these goals every single day. My calendar is filled. I am booked and I am busy. And that goes into my next tip. Devote more time for yourself than for others. People are going to call you selfish. People are going to complain that you don't have as much time for them. And that is perfectly okay. Do you know why? Because at the end of your life, most of these people will not be around anymore. That is just the harsh truth. And especially if you're young, if you're in your 20s like me, you are amongst your last few years of being able to devote your entire life to yourself and your own well being. So now is the time to take advantage of that. Devote more time for yourself than you devote for others. The funny thing about it is when you become more selfish, people will actually get obsessed with you. I mean, people in my life are fighting to be as important as my morning regulation routine, as my skincare routine, as my sleeping schedule. It is a fight to get into my life. It is like getting into an exclusive club. It is like getting into a prestigious school. Like, I actually have to want to make time for you in order to do so. And here's the thing, when you're a little bit more selfish too, people are going to respect you more. I remember a group of my friends and I were going out and we asked one of our friends if she was going to come. And she was like, no, I'm not going to come. And then we asked her again. She was like, yeah, no, I'm not coming. And so I asked her, I was like, okay, well, why don't you want to come? Like, do you have better things to do? She was like, no, I just don't really want to come. After that, I literally, like, my respect for her just soared. And this was like a new friend of mine. At that point, I was like, this girl is so incredible. Like, I just love her. She doesn't want to go. She's not going. She's more devoted to herself than she is to any of us, her friends. And I absolutely loved that about her. This is how you should live your life. You should be important. You should be the most important to yourself. I mean, you show up for school on time, you show up for your job on time. Why don't you show up for bedtime on time? Why don't you do your skincare in the morning? Why don't you exercise when you say you want to exercise? I mean, you tell everyone that, oh, I'm going to go to this party with you this weekend, and you feel so bad and you feel so guilty if you don't go, you want to bail, you don't really feel like it, but you go anyway. But how about all of those times that you didn't want to do things that would actually improve your life? You just decided, oh, I'm not going to do it, so I'm not going to do it. You need to make yourself the most important person in your life. That has to be your golden rule. You are the most important person in your life, and you must take that very, very seriously. Oh, this is one of my daily favorites. Stack self improvement. Listen to me while you are cleaning. Listen to an audiobook while you are driving. Listen to financial advice when you are on the treadmill. Like, there are just so many ways that you can consume content now. You should engulf your life with self improvement. I've engulfed myself in self improvement, and I do all of those things that I just told you to do. Your life should be catered to bettering yourself. Every small moment that you can take to enrich your mind and learn more and expand your worldview, you should be taking it. And if you need silent moments, like I like to drive in silence as well. I'm not saying that you should always listen to those things, but Listen to things that enrich you. Opt for things that enrich you rather than things that just entertain you. And that goes into my next tip. Stop listening to loser content. Stop subscribing to losers, stop watching losers, and stop being entertained by losers. Stop watching people F their lives up. Stop watching people blow up their relationships. Stop watching people literally putting things on fire and breaking things. Like, that is literally brain rot. Get rid of that right now. Use the devices that you have to be inspired and to learn. People are literally learning languages with the same device that you are using to be entertained. Like, I've had so many people comment, Shawnee, I watch your videos all the time because it has helped me to learn English in perfect English. Like, they are typing in perfect English, messaging me in perfect English. I use your videos to learn English. When I went to Morocco and I was in the markets, I was in the souks, a man came up to me and we were talking for a while and he was like, oh yeah, I've been really practicing my English. And I was like, practicing? He's like, yeah, I've been practicing for about 2 years. He was speaking to me in perfect English. I was like, well, how'd you do that? He was like, well, I use my phone. Like, I'll watch YouTube, I'll watch Netflix. People are learning languages. People are building seven-figure businesses. People are changing their lives. People are graduating from university on these same devices. Stop watching brain rot and start watching things that will elevate you. I don't think a lot of people really realize how privileged they are until they hear someone like me share what I'm sharing. Like, if you have the time and the resources to even watch me right now, then you have a privilege that billions of people do not have. Do not waste it. Okay? Don't waste it. And another thing, stop surrounding yourself with losers. If all of your friends are unemployed and not looking for jobs, you are the average of all of your friends. So that sounds like you're not doing the same thing. If all of your friends are in toxic relationships and won't leave, you are the average of your friends. So you are just like them. You are in the same spot. If all of your friends are just being like still with their life, they're content with not living to their full potential, then you are also content with not living your full potential. But if you are not content with not living your full potential, get new friends. Get new friends. And if these people are your family, then limit your time with them. Go get a job. Go do something, go get hobbies. Again, fill your calendar, be busy so that you do not actually have to interact with these people because by force of osmosis, you will become these people. So you need to limit your interaction and literally act like you are allergic to all of those things. And I'm not saying that you're a loser if you don't have a job. I'm not saying that you're a loser if you're in a toxic relationship. Like, a lot of people have things that just seem to happen to them. But if these things are happening over and over and over again, and often, and they occur in several people around you, then I don't really like where you're headed, and you shouldn't really like where you're headed either. Like, for me, all of my friends are extremely intelligent. All of my friends are extremely hardworking. All of my friends are absolutely in love, and they are in love with partners who are adoring of them. They are in healthy, loving relationships. I am the average of my friends. So I expect the same exact outcomes of my friends, and I get the same exact outcomes of my friends. And if you don't want the same outcomes that your friends are having, you need new friends today. Literally today. Like, start making an exit plan for how you are going to limit your time and eventually sever those ties. Like, take that very seriously because they gotta go. They gotta go. Like I can't tell you any other way. You are the average of your friends. So really make a fair assessment of if this is where you want to be in 5 years or 10 years or 20. Like, it really is that serious, regardless of how old you are. So don't take that advice with a grain of salt. Learn how to leave. Your friends don't appreciate you. Leave them. Your partner is mistreating you. Leave them. Your job is toxic. Leave it. Your family is toxic. Move out. You need to leave. You need to leave. Here's the thing about people. Some people change, most people will not. And if people know that they can disrespect you, then the easiest thing to do is to continue disrespecting you. You need to know your worth, know your value, and know when to leave. Because a lot of people are extending their time in places that they have no business being in, and the best thing that you can do is leave. And I'm going to tell you how to leave because often you can't just leave abruptly. You actually need a plan. And here are the things that are going to give you the best exit options. Number one, be educated. Go to any university that you can and get a lucrative degree. Get a degree that will translate well into most industries. I chose economics because it translates well into most industries. Anything in the math or sciences translates into most industries. Unless it's really, really niche, but even then, a lot of times people will look past that because they're thinking, okay, well, this sounds really difficult, or this is really difficult. This person can do this job. Like, a lot of jobs actually have nothing to do with the actual major. They just want to know that you're disciplined, that you know how to show up, and that you know how to communicate and follow through and finish a task and be innovative. Like, these are the soft skills that you get from being educated. And that's why it's so important that you get a degree. A degree is the one thing that no one can ever take from you, and it is the best exit plan. I decided to quit my job in finance. I decided to work in fashion part time. I was a stylist for a few months. And then I thought about it and I was like, well, I don't really want to work in fashion long term. And I actually want to make a lot of money, like right now. So I decided to work in finance again. And I was able to do so very quickly because I have a great degree. I have an economics degree from a prestigious industry, and that gives the nod to pretty much any employer that I am capable to do pretty much anything. Two, make more money. If you are in school, I recommend that you work in the library, work at the desk. That's what I did because you're able to study and also make money at the same time. There aren't a ton of people that are checking books out in the library anymore these days. So most of your time will honestly be spent studying. Also, try social media. I decided to start posting TikToks a year and a half ago with zero background. I literally knew nothing about marketing. I knew nothing about even being active on social media. I had like zero social presence. And I just decided, okay, I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna show up tomorrow and the day after and the day after. And I showed up more often and more often. And within 5 months, I built a following of 100,000 people. It literally can be that easy. Once you see a video take off, post within 12 hours after that video and make it very similar, and just rinse and repeat and grow from there. I also recommend that everyone work in the service industry or retail industry, food, whatever, food and beverage, something that is like customer facing, because that is one of the best ways to get soft social skills, and that is something that translates well into any industry as well, and it will benefit you in the long run with whatever career or path you want to take. When I worked in fashion, I interacted with literally thousands of people, and that was so different from investment banking, which was very niche. I only interacted with clients and my coworkers, but interacting with so many people gave me so much knowledge about what people don't know about finance, like personal finance. When I would tell people, oh, I used to work in banking, they would ask me, oh, tell me about a high yield savings account, or how do I invest, or how do I start retirement? So I learned so much about what people don't know. And then I also learned how to socialize with pretty much anyone. I literally, you can put anyone on this earth and I will find some way to talk to them and have an incredibly enjoyable conversation because of that environment. I literally learned how to turn a conversation into a sale, and that was something that motivated me to get better and better at conversing with people. Like, when you work in sales, literally socializing gives you money. So it becomes your most important focus to learn how to socialize. And you can also make a lot of money because people will want to spend more with you as they build a relationship with you, and they'll tip you a lot. People will feel like, you know what, I just really enjoyed your presence. You were so refreshing. You're a breath of fresh air. You're so magnetic. You're so polite. You're respectful. You're kind. Here's $100. Like, literally, like, people genuinely do that. So I recommend that everyone, every single person, regardless of how old you are, what your background is, I recommend that everyone works in the sales industry at least once. Getting a degree and making good money are great backup plans. And the key thing to do after that is to save. You should get a high yield savings account and automatically put a certain portion of your income in that high yield savings account for a rainy day. This is a great backup plan because if you are in a toxic relationship, a toxic living situation, you are going to need to go somewhere and fast, and you never know when that may happen. So it's important that you do that. I recommend a high yield savings account for people who aren't super familiar with investing because it's basically a regular savings account, but you earn way more than a traditional savings account. Look up a high yield savings account. There's Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Ally has one, American Express has one. Those are just a few that I recommend. And put a portion of your paycheck in. If you put just $100 in each week, by the end of the year, you will have put $5,200, and you will have earned much more interest on that than a traditional savings account. So these are just 3 ways that you can really build a great exit plan so that you can leave whenever you need to. Now, back to learning how to leave, because it is important that you learn how to leave. Losers are dependent and winners have freedom of choice. If you have to be dependent on somebody, then you don't have control over your life. And in order to be a winner, in order to launch yourself into whatever project you are passionate about, whatever dream you are dreaming of, you need to have full control. So start taking those actions that I mentioned. Get a degree, get educated, make some money, save some money so that you can leave whenever you want to. And the best part about leaving is that God will always give you better. Every time I've left a job, I lived a better life. Every time I've left a relationship, I found better. Every time even when it was so hard to leave these things, when I've left environments that were toxic for me, I was so much happier. Like, even though it's often so hard to leave these things, it's literally like God rewards you for finally seeing yourself. Like, God will say, okay, you finally see that this is not what I wanted for you. Here is this as a treat. Here is this as a reward. God will always give you something better. So don't ever be afraid to leave when you know that a situation is not healthy for you. And to my final tip, thank you guys for your support through to this video. I appreciate you guys so much, and your support means the world to me. And that's why I need to remind you that you do not need you do not need any support. The aim of success is not to wait for the people you've always wanted that validation from to sit back and clap for you. The aim of success is to look back on past time and say, yes, I worked my hardest. Yes, I tried my best. Yes, I am proud of myself. It does not matter who supports you. And I cannot stress that enough. One of the most frequent questions that I get from people who want to start social media is, well, what if your family doesn't support you? What if your friends don't support you? And to that, I say, who cares? Who gives up? Like, who cares? Why would I sit there and be worried about tens of people that don't support me when there are millions of people that I can reach? When I started social media, I didn't even tell people close to me. I told maybe 2 or 3 friends, hey, I'm gonna post a video tomorrow. I'm gonna start doing this week. Everyone else had no idea what I was doing. They just saw me doing it. Like, I literally was like, okay, this is what I'm doing and I'm gonna do it. I have never done social media with family and friends in mind because those are not the people that I want to reach. I don't care if they like my content and I don't care if they do. It affects me zero. Because here's the thing, my goal, and this is my purpose, and when you figure out your purpose, you will be so convicted in that that nothing else will matter. My purpose is to help people. I want to share with people how to achieve outcomes I have. My friends and family have already done that. They are not my target audience. I want to reach the people who don't have a me in their life. That is what is so important to me. So I don't need the support of other people. It is a nice to have, it is not a have to have. And that's the note that I'm going to leave you guys on. I am so excited for you guys. I'm so excited. And I'm mostly excited because this is a video that would have changed my life had I seen it a few years later. But I'm so grateful to be the person that is going to bestow this knowledge onto you. This video is literally gold. This video is gold, and this is something that you need to come back to and you need to listen so often to that one day, 2 to 3 years from now, you come back to look at this video and you're like, wait, I didn't even realize it. Like, I literally have become every single thing that this girl told me once. That is so important to me because that is what has happened to me. And I can't wait for you guys to start living in your purpose and to start feeling confident and to start living your dreams without any limit. There's really no limit. I'll tell you over and over again because I went from having no social media to having over 350,000 of you subscribing to my social media channels. Like, that is insane. That is insane. I'm literally filming on my iPad in my apartment. It's just surreal. It's so surreal. And I know for a fact that after listening to this video and listening to it over and over and over again, when you're on the treadmill, when you're driving, when you're cleaning, your life is going to change. I just know it. And I'm so excited for you guys. And I obviously want to see your comments in response to this video now, even more so a few years or even maybe months down the line when your life starts to change in incredible ways. I want to hear about it. So please, please, please leave comments and tell me. I'm so excited for you. I love you guys. I cherish you. And I can't wait to see you in the next one.